Oh yeah, that's that good shit right there. Clean it all. Hola y'all, welcome back to my channel. So I look crazy because I just finished filming a video. My voice is starting to go. I figure now is a perfect time to film a get ready with me / my wildest writer dreams video. As I do this, I do apologize if you hear some background noise because my kids are watching TV in my room like they do, and I just figured, you know what, I might as well film a video while I'm awake and doing things around the house, right? So let's jump into it. Some of my big writer dreams. I'm gonna start with really small dreams first and then jump into bigger ones because that's sort of how my brain works. Hang on a second, I need to get a baby wipe, so. All right, so, small writer dreams. Well, the first small writer dream that would actually be an entire game changer for me would be to have a space solely dedicated to writing and a room where I could lock a door and not have anybody come in and barge in on me while I'm in the thick of a story. Oh my God, that would be such a game changer. I have always had the dream of having a house where one room is basically just a study and I can store all my books in there. I could have a desk that is not facing a window, but like in the middle of the room, you know what I mean? And like all my bookshelves are in front of me, the window's off to the side, and I could pour myself a glass of whiskey with some ice cubes and stare off into the window if I wanted to. But then I could also look at my books and read quietly. This is like every introvert's dream, I feel like, is to just have a space where they can be alone in their own house. I'd say another small writer dream is to win a writing contest. I feel like that is a little bit smaller of a dream because it's not a full-length book, but it's something that can win some money and also get your name out there in the world, because a lot of, you know, agents and publishers pay attention to that kind of thing. So that is something that I am looking forward to. I'm actively applying to contests for my full-length manuscript, but I also apply to contests for individual poems that I write. I try to mix it up so I'm not carpet bombing publishers. So I do one contest a week. So yeah, that is a small writing goal. Just any kind of contest where I win some money. I'd love that. I moved. Oh, I got some weird eye thing going on here. That's okay. Like a lot of my skincare gurus like to tell me, I gotta do a 2-step cleansing process, so when I hop in the shower later, I'm definitely gonna wash my face again because clearly I did not get all this makeup off. But, sensitive skin hack, all my peeps who still get acne even though you're in your 30s, wash your brushes every day. That has been like a big game changer for me. I grew up in the early 2000s where makeup brushes, what? You use your hands and your fingers, and what's blending? So I'm just learning all kinds of new tricks these days about doing makeup. Another small writing goal. This isn't necessarily a small goal. I'd say this is more of a medium-sized goal, but I would love to go on some kind of a writer's retreat. Like something where I'm, you know, away from my family for like a week, maybe a month, in the mountains somewhere, and I can just focus on writing a book. I'm currently in the process of writing a book, and I'm doing these like 30-minute increments, which is cool, but I also know that if I was in a space where I was surrounded by other writers and I was just focusing on this project, I could not only be more productive, but then I could also get some pretty good feedback in the process. So that's also something that's on my mind. I thought of another sort of medium goal that I would like to have. I would love to be part of a writer's fellowship. So some of the ones that are on my radar for sure. Canto Mundo is definitely one that I would like. It is a writing fellowship that focuses on people of the Latinx and Hispanic diaspora. The other one would definitely be VONA, aka Voices of Our Nation. They have had so many writers, and they also have really awesome like teachers basically who, when you go to Vona specifically, you can apply to different genres, and they have everything from screenwriting to travel writing to poetry, and this is specifically for people of color, but any person of color can apply. So while Canto Mundo is for Latinx people and Kundiman is for Asian people and Kabe Kanam is for Black people and Afro-descendant people, Vona is for anybody who identifies as a person of color. And basically you apply to different genres, and I would love to do either of those, or if I could do both, actually, that would be awesome. They're both highly respected, and you just make so many good connections at these types of fellowship things. There are some other smaller fellowships that I would like to join, like the Robert Frost Institute has a pretty cool one where you just spend a week in Vermont, I think, and you take classes on poetry and you workshop poems. Definitely be down for that. Something like Canto Mundo or Vona would just like be killer for my resume, help me make such good connections, and I would just be surrounded by some of the most talented writers across the country. So joining a writer's fellowship would definitely be another like medium-sized goal on my list. All right, with that being said, I'm gonna go shower now, so the next time you see me, I will be dewy and ready for bed-ish, because I have steps before I go to bed. It's a whole thing. Yo! Okay, so I am showered, I am cleansed, I am now in my jammies, and let's continue. Midsize goals. I think my last mid-size writer goal, which is sort of like a jumping off point, would be to get a literary agent who could help me out with both my YA novel as well as the picture books that I have planned, because I have quite a few picture books in the works. Also, I'm about to do a mask. It's blue, which is fun. It's Dead Sea Minerals, which is also fun. So, hey, I do this every Sunday because, oh no, it's broken. No. Anyway, I do this every Sunday because I have always had really bad skin. Like you guys can see here, I have a lot of acne scars from when I was younger, and skincare has kind of always just been part of my life. Definitely want to get a literary agent for my picture books and for my YA books. In terms of picture books, in terms of a literary agent for poetry, that is so rare. Like, that just doesn't happen. The only people who get literary agents for poetry are people who have insane social media followings, or who are just like the upper echelon of poets. And they also tend to use a literary agents for, like, you know, ways to get into magazines like Poetry Magazine or Poets and Writers, things like that, where, you know, their agents also help them get like paid pieces in different magazines and journals. So yes, I am gonna keep this. I'm gonna get some tape and fix that hole because your girl's on a budget. All right, I'm gonna keep talking until I feel this dry, and then once it dries, I'm gonna skedaddle for a minute. But I wanna get now to my big overall goals, because I have a few of those as well. So one big writer goal that I have is, it's kind of a complicated goal. It's a very mathy goal, which is ironic because I am not a mathy person, but I would say one of my big writer goals is to make the same amount of money from my writing that I paid in student loans, if that makes sense, right? So I took out $41,000 in student loans to pay for my MFA. I have no undergrad loans. And I'm not going to count my husband's loans in this because he got his student loans for undergrad, and that was just like a different situation. But for me specifically, for my MFA, it cost $41,000. I would like to make at least $41,000 from my writing. I don't know how realistic that is. I think with like my picture books and my YA novel, it's actually a little bit more realistic. But I know from poetry, like, unless I start getting invited to speaking engagements, or if I don't see my poetry making that much money, but also who knows? Like, I can't sell myself short, and I am trying to be better about like positive self-talk. So, and then like the even bigger goal from that is if I double the amount that I took out in student loans. So if I made $82,000 in my lifetime just from my writing, that would be amazing. Now let's also be super clear, like if I make more than that, oh, I'm swimming in it. So another big writer goal. I would love my YA novel to get published. I think it is a book that could not have come out when I was younger. It's a book that could only work in this day and age. I think it's a book that it has a lot of really good potential. I am just nervous that I don't have the skills to pull it off, but I do have the skills to pull it off. I am capable. I work hard. I study. I try. And I'm gonna restart my Twitter so I can start getting in touch with literary agents. But in all seriousness, I think that is basically like, that would be so cool. I always had dreams of being a YA author, and to get to do that would just like make 11-year-old Michelle super happy. Another big goal that I have is to become a writing professor. I have been trying to become a writing professor for the past year, and it's really hard because everybody wants to be a writing professor, and having an MFA is not enough, particularly in my city where the colleges are limited. We have a community college, a private university, and a state university. And like, you have to know people. That is the frustrating thing about this business. You have to know people, and I suck at socializing. So, you know, I'm hoping that as I get more into the writer community, my name gets out there more, people will also start saying my name in rooms that I'm not in, and I will get that opportunity. You know I'm qualified. I don't know if it's like I'm not the right fit or what it is, but it's frustrating, and I want it so bad. I want it so bad. Okay, this mask is starting to dry, so I'm gonna take a break, and then we'll come back to it. Hey, all right, so this is dry for the most part. I got like some funky spots there, but we're gonna go ahead and take this off. All right, so got my washcloth. Let's do this. Now, another big writer goal that I would love to see met is to have a book of poetry published by either Grey Wolf or Tin House. I just think those are two publishing houses. They are not one of the big five. They're definitely an indie publishing house, but the work that they publish is so good. It's just like next level kind of work, you know? And the poets that they tend to publish are like incredible poets. So that they are both definitely publishing houses that are on my radar. I would say then another goal after that would be to have like a series, my series of picture books get picked up for sure. And with that, have it sort of turned into like a Nickelodeon kind of TV show. So I have this whole, I actually have a couple, I'm also loving this blue unibrow thing that's going on. I have a couple of picture books that I have been working on for a while now. I just feel like getting the chance to write, to have like a TV show or a movie or a series of movies based off of books that I wrote would be so cool. So that is definitely like an unwritten kind of rule that I have, or goal that I have for myself. Okay, that thing didn't want to stay on anyway, so thank God. Some other big writer goals. Similarly to Alexa Dunn, I would love to have some of my work translated. And conversely, I would love to translate at least one book in my life. I want to get fluent enough in Spanish to the point where I could translate a book of poetry. I think that would be incredible. And with that, I would love to have my work translated and sent to different countries. Like if people living in Cuba could read my books, that would be amazing. I would die. It would seriously mean the world to me. So that is definitely a big goal of mine. Another big goal of mine, similar to LaSalle Sambry, I really want to be a full-time writer. I know this quarantine period has proven to me that I am the ultimate introvert. I have zero need to go see people every day. In fact, I think I am better as a person when I don't see people every day. Like teaching, I love that job, but at the same time, it is so emotionally draining for me because I am an introverted person. And like, dude, November and March are always the hardest times of the year for me because it is just like such a long stretch of time where I have to be around so many people all of the time. It's rough. And unless you're introverted, I don't feel like people understand. I know my sister doesn't understand, but like I am so happy being home all the time. And if the only reason I leave my house is to go on a walk or go exercise, like that's totally fine. Oh, here's one that I really just thought of. I would love to be a guest on the Versus podcast. That would be huge for me. That would be an incredible goal. Danez Smith and Franny Choi are like titans of the industry, and to get to be on a podcast with them would change my life. Like, not even like on a professional level, but just getting to meet with these great minds and talk to them about writing and about life. I would flip out. I would lose my mind. Gotta moisturize, baby. Chapstick. Original. Those are my main writing goals. I would love to hear what some of your writing goals. Shout out to Lindsay Puckett. She just like made that video and then it sort of spun off into a whole tag, which is really fun. I'm gonna brush my teeth now and then I'm probably gonna get some writing done, or maybe get some sleep or some reading. Who knows? But this was super fun, y'all. I post videos every Wednesday and Sunday, sometimes Friday. I hope you guys have an awesome week. If you'd like to buy a copy of my poetry, I have a link down below. I have a chapbook of poetry called Cuentos from the Swamp, all about growing up in South Florida. If you'd like to follow me on a day-to-day basis, you can find me on Instagram, Tumblr, and Goodreads at Shelly Flowers. And I'm gonna do it. I'm restarting my Twitter. You can also find me on Twitter at Shelly Flowers. All right. Ciao, y'all.